Let's talk about the both sides nonsense that is so often used to run interference for the horrible and disgusting things that are said by many of our elected officials. As many of you may remember if you watched yesterday's show, over the weekend, Donald Trump referred to leftists and socialists and Marxists and other people of the left as vermin. Vermin is a very similar word to that used in German by a guy named Adolf Hitler. You don't have to say Trump is Hitler to recognize that the language being adopted by Trump and others is very similar to Nazi rhetoric. Well, Fox News contributor Juan Williams was on yesterday, interviewed by Fox host John Roberts. And Juan Williams mentions Trump is calling opponents vermin. And John Roberts does a false equivalency, the both sides game, by saying, well, Hillary called some Trump supporters deplorable. Let's take a look at this, and then I will tell you why these are two very different things.
Trump this weekend was calling his opponents vermin. And confusing whether or not President Obama was still in office. And he's 77 years old. Why isn't Biden making the case now?
Well, Hillary Clinton called her opponents deplorables at one point, so there's language on both sides.
There is language on both sides. Now, that's true. Both sides use language to communicate. John Roberts, I can't argue with that. But this is a disgusting false equivalency. And if you understand context and intent and historical connotations, you see the perfect example here of why the false both sides thing can be so dangerous. Hillary Clinton did indeed describe some of Donald Trump's supporters as being part of the basket of deplorables. And she was referring to the racist elements, the sexist elements, the homophobic elements, the xenophobic elements, the Islamophobic elements within the ranks of MAGA in 2016. Some said, oh, I'm offended. I'm offended by what the same people who used to say, I'm offended isn't an argument, said, I'm offended. But the term basket of deplorables is not inherently dehumanizing to people. It's criticizing ideology. It's criticizing behavior. The term vermin, even abstracted from historical context, the term vermin is a dehumanizing term. Humans are pests. They are disease-carrying animals. And when you bring in the historical context, you can't help but get to Hitler, and you can't help but remember the use of terms like vermin to describe Jews. And so historically, it is language that has been used to justify extreme inhumane actions against groups of people. Hillary Clinton saying basket of deplorables is not at all like Trump saying vermin. There is no history in the American left of dehumanizing the right in order to look at doing horrifying, authoritarian, disgusting things. Trump, on the other hand, is placating and paying lip service to the exact extreme authoritarian, violent ideology that he is referencing with the term vermin. Jews were referred to as rats during the Holocaust, and vermin as well. And it's language that was used to justify systemic extermination. So we have to understand intent. We have to understand context. We have to understand history. And when you do that, you get to a point where you have to see what John Roberts said and say, no. These things are not alike. But this is what Fox News does. They run interference for Trump's absolutely most depraved and dangerous things. And listen, do I think Trump's going to try to actually exterminate socialists? I guess probably not. But is Trump going to try to prevent the immigration to the United States of, or even try to deport those whose political views he doesn't like? He said he's going to do that. I think he will try. I think that's absolutely something he will do. Is he going to try to weaponize the Justice Department against his perceived or real political enemies? He says he's going to do it, and I believe he will. Is he going to try to shut down media outlets, or at least encumber media outlets whose view is not pleasing to Trump? He said he's going to do that, and I believe that he will. So we should believe them when they say this stuff. We should not be lulled into these false equivalencies by people like John Roberts on Fox News. But most importantly, we should just all vote to prevent it from even becoming a thing. And I hope we will. Have you seen these people search sites? It's a big data privacy problem in the United States. They publish personal profiles on millions of Americans for people to see. It's crazy. They can show your address, your internet activity, license plate can be there, even your political and religious beliefs. People buy and sell this information about you. And sometimes it's even shown online for free without you being aware. Our sponsor, Incogni, is a powerful platform that will simplify this whole process for you. You create an account on Incogni. Within a minute, they go to work getting your data taken down from these data broker databases. They'll keep you updated every step of the way. They'll handle disputes or websites that try to refuse to take your info down. It can cut down on robocalls. It can make you less susceptible to scams. Even identity theft is a risk that they can help mitigate. Folks, you do not want this type of personal information floating around out there. Let Incogni take care of it for you. The first 100 people to use the promo code PACMAN get 60% off when you go to incogni.com/PACMAN. The link is down below.